On Second Shot, we tackle 2 new headlines every week to find out what kind of wisdom the world is dishing out today. And we want you to be a part of that. When you see a headline you want to take a second shot at, or if you're looking for advice, or just want to tell us what you think of the show, email us at secondshotcast@gmail.com. If you like what you hear, rate us on iTunes. This helps us move up in the ratings so more people will see us. And if you want to hear more, subscribe to the show so that the new episodes will get straight to you every single Friday. We love you. Thanks for listening and enjoy.
There's a lot of news in the world today.
News that might surprise you, startle you, upset, or maybe impress.
News that's not always for the faint of heart.
That's why the man who failed his way to success, Heath Oakes, is stepping up.
Tackling today's headlines with ignorance on fire in a way only a millennial mogul can.
Take off your sport coat, grab a beer, and enjoy the conversation.
This is Second Shot with your host, Heath Oakes.
It's so fun to annoy my wife from time, do the little things that just bug her and annoy her,
I know, why would you want to do that?
I wash my hands, she walks by and I fling water on her and she startles her. And I do it to Brighton now and Brighton will be like,
she has the exact same reaction.
Looks just like her mother. It is hilarious.
I do that to my cats.
Do you?
Yeah.
Flick water on them.
Poor guys. Well,
Jenny, my wife in studio.
Hey everybody.
Zach, Matt.
How's it going?
Hello.
I'm brutal about the annoying Christine thing. I don't know why she puts up with me. My favorite thing to do anytime she's sitting cross-legged on the floor and she's working on a project for school or she's sewing something. Something cool she's always doing. And one of her feet falls asleep. She'll stand up and be like, "Oh no, one of my feet falls asleep." "Oh no, which one?" And I'll just go over and poke her a little bit and try to mess with her. And she's like, "Stop! Seriously, get away, please!"
It's such a weird feeling.
I
when
love it
someone
so
touches
much. Yeah, and she hates it, and it's adorable. It's great.
And I also my daughter will be running across the house, and I try to hit her with a basketball, little plastic balls.
Yeah,
I hit her with it.
You guys, she's 14 months old.
Working on her balancing, so she gets hit and she keeps up. She stays up.
Coordination. Yeah.
It is. It's practice. You got to learn how to roll with it when the ball comes your way and hits you. You got to keep bouncing off of it. Right?
Dived up.
And look, a little 2-year-old boy ran into her at Little Gym one day, and she just kind of bounced off and kept going. He fell, my girl.
Well, not that we're teaching her to knock people over.
No, he ran into her.
Yeah.
She's just a brick house.
She is a brick house.
Because she's practiced on getting hit by plastic balls and keep going.
If this ever comes up in court somewhere, admission of guilt,
exactly. I'm going to go back to episode 81.
Disclaimer: this is not a parenting tip.
That's right. Yeah, this is a disclaimer in front of the show. It's fine. Our first headline this week.
Speaking of annoying stuff.
Speaking of annoying stuff, most irritating coworker habits revealed. This was from a study from a website called vaporcore.com, spelled with a U because it's from Britain. So I assume that means it's refined, unlike vapor here. They did a study of 1,002 working Brits to find out what the most irritating habits in the workplace are. They've come up with the top 10, and we've got them for you right here. First, with 43% of the vote, offensive body odor from people, which is, something. 31% said ignoring emails, coworkers who just don't answer email. 30% said not washing up after the bathroom. I'd rank that a little higher personally, but that's fine. 26% said messy desks. Also, interrupting when people speak. Staying in the toilet too long, talking loudly on the phone, smelling of cigarettes, cooking smelly foods in the break room, and wearing the same clothes too often.
Here's the thing. If you were one of the ones that voted for staying in the restroom too long, wearing the same clothes too much type stuff, you got problems.
You're a busybody.
Because I don't know the last time that I checked when Ann got up to go to the bathroom, me timing her to see how long she's in the bath. You know what I mean? Like if you are obviously, you're like the owl on Home Improvement that's always got his head over the fence.
Yeah.
If you were realizing that somebody's wearing this, and wasn't it Big Al or something?
Al Borland was the other
sidekick.
fixer
Wilson,
guy.
Wilson.
That was
Wilson,
the neighbor Wilson.
That's right. Yeah.
But seriously, if that is something you pay attention to, you need to get mindfulness in your life because you're literally way too obsessed with people. I get the body odor thing. If I sit next to somebody who stunk all the time, that would probably bother me. Honestly, my biggest one. Well, first of all, do either of y'all, if you said your number one pet peeve with coworkers, would it be anything on that list or something else?
See, it's tough because our office is split, and maybe it's just because we work together all the time. But for me, everybody down here, pretty cool. I don't know. Like I feel like I won the coworker lottery. I feel
But if like
everybody's
Matt did anything specific daily,
would
or
it be
something,
would it
trying
be
to get
on
me
this
called out
list?
on there?
I don't think so.
I feel like one of my big pet peeves, I don't remember hearing it on that list, but if they talk all the time, like if they're constantly just like going on and on and on about something, that can really get on my nerves. I've worked around people who just would not shut up at all.
Because you're trying to work.
Yeah.
Right.
And so you can't get your work
and
done.
they're just constantly saying, hey, pay attention to me. I'm saying something. It's like, all right. Let me get back to whatever it is I'm doing. And so I've worked with a few of those.
I think this is funny. I love this article. I love the whole like study of it. I think it's fascinating. But what it reminded me of is like it's such a relief to be a highly unbothered person.
Yeah.
It is like if you kind of feel yourself being that irritated, like, oh, Tammy does this and John does this and Sheena does this, like let that, you gotta let it go, because that's gonna ruin your work day. And you only have so much time to think about things. And if all of your thought is taken up worrying about what they're doing, you're not doing your work and you're hating your job. And the second that you don't like somebody, you're going to start noticing
Everything.
more and more and more.
That's what you
they're
notice
1
when they go to
minute
the
late
bathroom.
and you notice
Right.
So it's like, don't let yourself get to that place. You have to have an awareness about, wow, I can't believe that I'm the body odor. Sure, I get it. Or like microwaving stuff that stinks. Yeah, that can be annoying. But if somebody's
But it's
doing
not
something
that
that does
bad.
not affect you at all, like going to the bathroom for too long, or wearing the same clothes, that is none of your business.
It shouldn't bother you.
And
at all.
also, like, who knows what their financial situation? Leave it. Like, don't give it another thought, because once you don't like some, like, you really feel that you don't like them, every little thing, like, oh, they dropped a piece of paper, or oh, they're blowing their nose, or that kind of stuff. And it's just like, just know that you can be relieved of all of that if you let it go, and then it's just a better.
It's
work
when you get out of the
experience.
judging game, life gets easier.
Yeah,
When
it's so much easier.
When you get out of the judging game and truly don't judge others. I mean, like, look, honestly, say somebody goes in there and cooks some sardine in the microwave, okay? Will it stink for a little bit? Yes, but is it the end of the world? No. It'll go away. It's really not that bad.
If they're doing it every day, I might be like, hey, can we
walk
go somewhere
outside
else?
for 5 minutes and the smell will be gone. It's not that bad. Like,
yeah, I guess
it's
you're
not
right.
going to impede your work. It's not going to impede you. And now, if you're sitting there trying to get your work done, and somebody's constantly bugging you, and you're not able to get your work done, then
talking,
there's
like
then
I
there's
said,
a hate
you can
conversation
address
that
it.
I've got to get to do that. I get that, but like she said, the stuff that's on there, a lot of that stuff that's so petty. If you are seriously the person paying attention to where if somebody's in the bathroom too long, you gotta go talk to a therapist. Like, you need help.
They did say in here that apparently a handful of them said we're talking upwards of like 30 minutes.
Well, I mean, would you? I mean,
But
I
here's
still
the
would
thing,
not
be
pay
so
attention.
involved in your own
arguably,
thing
I
that you
still
don't
wouldn't.
notice.
I would just assume, I'd be like, maybe they took a phone call. Maybe
Yes.
something
They're doing
happened.
something.
Like they've gone somewhere.
Innocent
Yeah.
until proven guilty. Like, if
Right.
you always assume the best, like, a lot of good will come. If you always assume that they're up to good instead of up to no good, it's just a lot easier to live your own life.
Mind your own business. Mind your own business, and it's easy.
I don't know if there's anything to this, but a footnote on this. They did say it was interesting that women typically said that communicative difficulties were what frustrated them. People not answering emails, people talking on the phone too loud. Whereas men were stuck on mess and organization, hanging out too long in the bathroom, not washing their hands, like problems like that. So I don't know if there's
That
anything
is
to that, but
interesting.
that's intriguing to me. Yeah, I thought I'd bring that up.
That is interesting.
Yeah, I'm only bothered if somebody's not doing their job and it impacts my job. If they're not doing their job and it doesn't impact my ability to do my job, I don't know.
The
That's
communicative
Right.
stuff,
Who cares?
the replying to emails or when responses are needed and being on top of it bothers me. But that stuff that affects, it's like trying to get communication together and somebody constantly forgets to reply back to an email. That does bother me, but that's not like that's something I think is more of a real thing that can help impede and stop you from working versus the going to the bathroom wearing the same clothes. Like, that's crazy.
I hope nobody minds that, because I got like 5 shirts that I like. That's it.
I know.
Yeah,
so
you got your
time.
work. It's like the work rotation, though.
Yeah,
a lot of people have the
exactly.
work
everybody
rotation.
does that. Yeah, right.
That's
Some people have more varied rotation. The things that get me the most are when, and this is going to go exactly into what you said, Jenny. Like, the things that get me the most, I think, are when somebody makes a decision that to me does not make the most sound sense. I'm like, that was a foolish thing to do. That was dumb. You shouldn't have done that, and that brings us as a collective company down. And the thing that always gets me out of that is I just put on my headphones and just keep working. Like, and just don't think about it. Yeah, and like don't take the bait. Don't follow the carrot on the stick. Just let it go. Like, because the only person actually pursuing that is you. Like, the only person upset by it is you. The only person who cares is you. Just let it go.
If you're going into work and you're realizing that you got these things, you're sitting there concentrating on, Mary's in the bathroom too long, Bob's doing this, Bob's desk is a mess, and all of those things, you can free yourself when you become an unbothered person, as Jenny said, and not minding and not trying to be up in everybody else's business. You've got to, if you focus on the things that you can do, control, and all of those, and when you get out of the judging game, your life will get easier. I can promise you. Stop worrying unless it affects your job. Somebody being in the bathroom too long does not affect your job at all. So sit in there. You go to work. You do what you do. Stop worrying about everybody else and mind your own business, and things will get much better in your life. I promise you. We'll be back in a minute for the second segment of The Second Shot.
He's a suit and tie kind of guy with deep Southern roots. Heath Oaks hosts more of Second Shot coming up on RNCN.
To all of my friends in the great state of Texas, if you have not taken advantage, I have a way to save you a ton of money. I have saved over about $3,000 in the last year, and I have no hassle. Go to energyogre.com, put in the promo code SECONDSHOT. Now listen, promo code SECONDSHOT, and you're going to get a free month just for signing up and saving a ton of money. So don't be crazy. Stop sitting around talking about, is this the real deal, and go do it right now. energyogre.com, promo code SECONDSHOT, and a free month. Thanks. Go get it now. Run.
Ready? Aim. Fire. Second Shot is back for another round on RNCN.
We were just kind of talking about that last episode and kind of carrying it over some. I'm just, because I think you're right, Jenny, because you're talking about how you would want somebody to tell you if there was one of those annoying, and I would too. And don't you? But I think it's one of those that in today's world, not enough people are willing to tell somebody like that, and then. But when they do, they end up waiting till they're emotionally hot, and then it never resonates, because if you will tell somebody in a very calm, kind of strategic way of something, then it will do a lot more than waiting till you bust, and you bust emotionally, and then they won't even take it serious because you fly off the handle when it happens.
As far as culture is concerned, a nation I always heard was really good at that. Not to blow smoke at anybody in particular. I heard Russia's really good at that, because apparently Russia's very cold, right? And they always say never fight Russia in the war, and like apparently that's how people in Russia are. They are brutally honest. Like they don't do the whole putting on airs, because it's a thing we struggle with here in America. We're very nice to each other, and like they don't do that. If you come in and your suit looks dumb, they're gonna be like, that looks dumb, why'd you wear that? And it's not like insulting, it's just like, no,
culture.
That was a mistake, don't do that again. That's it. Yeah, that's just how they roll. And like, in a way, I respect that.
Yeah, I would want to know. I would have a hard time doing that to others.
Oh yeah, I'd be horrible at it.
Because I don't think about.
I would probably take that criticism.
But I would too. I have very thin skin, but I also want to know, because I don't want any minutia to keep me from getting to my ultimate goal, and that like other random stuff that I'm doing, like microwaving broccoli or whatever.
Both of you would be surprised that if it was done correctly, how much you would not take offense to it. Right. I really worked hard on making sure I could do that, because that was one of the issues that I had as a leader, and realized if I don't tell somebody some of those things, then I'm not achieving what I want, which is to help develop people. And so if I'm not willing to tell them the truth, then not. So when I took it in that light and I was able to do that, and then I've never had anybody come off negative with it, and because they know that my intention is for the better of them versus the other. And I think a lot of people they would take it negative, because most of the time they've ever gotten criticism is in an emotional state. Somebody was in an emotional state of mind, which means they were flying off their handle or whatever. And so you think you would take it negative, but if it was a strategic type of approach,
like a tactful
from
way.
Somebody that truly was wanted to help you, you wouldn't take it negative.
My favorite part of any kind of like quarterly or annual review or anything we do, at the end, I always love to ask, okay, I'd love some feedback on me, things you like that I do, and they'll rattle some thoughts on things I need to work on. It's always my favorite part. Things you think I need to do, or things I need to be better at, like, because that's the part that I can build on. That's the, hey, here's the weaknesses, build on that. And it's almost frustrating when they're like, nothing, everything's great. I'm like, that's never true. There's always something, right? And like, I want to hear what that is. And so usually if it's like, well, here's a couple of things, I'm like, awesome, thank you for your honesty, perfect. Like it's a very clear cut. Here's what you got to work on. I love that. Anyway, our second headline for the show, a little bit of a
love this story,
almost a fable, but this story. So I'm going to try to get through this because it's fairly long. I'm going to sum it up for you.
You can sum it up.
Yeah. So a successful businessman, a CEO, is growing old and knows it's time for a successor to take over the business. He calls everybody in the company into a room and he says, here's the plan. I'm giving everybody here a seed, all right? A special seed.
Well, he gave all just the C executives.
I think you're right. The seed executives. Yeah. Yes, a seed for a plant. I want you to go home, plant it in a pot of water it. 1 year from today, everybody comes back here with their plants. We're going to show them off. Whoever's got the biggest, best one wins. That's the plan. And whoever wins is the next CEO. They're my successor. That's the way we're doing this. All right. I want to know that you can nurture a plant, that you can take care of something, that you can help something, foster something from birth to make something grow. And so he gives them to everybody, and Jim in finance gets one, and he goes home. He's all excited, gets a pot of soil, he plants it, starts watering it. A few days, nothing happens. A few more days, nothing happens. He starts to hear other people's plants are growing. He's not really getting anywhere. His wife's like, keep doing it, keep going at it. Nothing's happening, all right? And this goes on for a couple months, and finally it's
a year later when they come in.
This thing's dead. It's not going on. And the wife says, you do you, all right? Like, do what you need to do. And he keeps hearing about everything's growing and everything's working. So a year later, everybody gets together. Everybody gets their plants, and Jim doesn't want to take his empty pot in because he knows it's not going to get him anywhere. And the wife says, look, you gotta be you, all right?
Be honest.
Be you. Yeah, be honest. And so he takes his pot in, and everybody laughs at him. Everybody's got these big, immaculate plants. And
everybody's got all kinds of different kinds of plants.
And the CEO comes, big flowers and hydrangeas and whatever else plants.
Yeah.
I didn't go to plant school. And so the CEO comes in, he looks at everybody's plants, he walks around, and he looks at everybody and says, this is great, this is wonderful. Stops at Jim, and he says, Jim, what happened? He says, sir, I tried. I just couldn't. I don't know. I couldn't make it happen. And he goes, you're the next CEO. Done. And everybody goes, what? He goes, yeah, they were all boiled seeds. They were all dead. none of them worked. They were
the other people cheated?
They were all fake. You all cheated. Yeah, except for Jim, who was the only person who was honest. So that's the twist.
Yeah. Oh, I love it.
Read the last couple lines of it, though.
The last couple lines here. Oh, gosh. There's a whole bit in here. If you plant honesty, you'll reap trust. So be careful what you plant now. It'll determine what you reap later. Whatever you give to life, life gives you back.
So this is a true story.
I think so. I like to think so.
I think it's a fable because I think I've seen it before on just a lesson of kind of like a parable. It's kind of like a parable type thing of, he gave everybody a boiled seed and everybody else sitting there wanting the biggest, tallest, and all this, and went and whenever they all planted those seeds and nothing grew, they went and got some seeds and put it in there.
Right. Didn't want it to seem like they couldn't do it.
Yeah, and Jim was the only honest one that just stuck with it. And, I think that story is such a powerful story. Mm-hmm. And it has so much power in what the meaning behind that is. Would you agree? I mean, just of being honest and how, and like I almost felt Jim's anxiety growing throughout that year as nothing would grow from that his shots were gone, but that instead of going and looking for something else, like he just stuck with it, come in, had the strong character, said that, and then next thing you know it is. I mean, what did you think about the story?
I was impressed that Jim did not quit or make an excuse. So, for example, just say, I'm not going to show up to that meeting. My plant's nothing. And I'm glad he had the encouragement of his wife to, home.
Or do what everybody else did.
So obviously, first of all, he didn't cheat. So yay for not cheating. But also, I think that a lot of people would be inclined to save face because they're still going to work there and they're still going to be the director of finance to say, oh, you know what, like I dropped the plant or something, something happened,
Excuses.
Some sort of excuse. Oh, our water got turned off, or we had a big drought year and we put it outside, or, Google told me the wrong thing to do, or just any number of excuses, or to just not even put his name in because I think a lot of people would just say, I'm not showing up at that meeting. I'm obviously not going to get it. There's no way I'm going to get it. My plant is dead. Why would I even show up at this stupid meeting with this stupid project? And also, they could blame the CEO saying, I know I'm the most qualified person, but you put it up to a stupid plant.
Yep.
But instead he was like, nope, I'm going to show up with my dead plant. And
You know what
Here I
I
am.
like what you just said that just hit me was show up. No matter what that is, at least he showed up. You're right. That's so true about that story. Is that so many times people will think they're behind the ball and won't even show up. Don't even realize that if they just show up, they got it. You know what I mean?
yeah, there might be something for them.
How important it is to just show up. It's so many times people don't. And what it's like to be around those people that constantly do not show up is not good to be with. You know what I mean?
Well, and think about your guys' own. Just think about the place where you work. Sometimes there's somebody where it's like, wow, man, how did they get that job? They didn't have any experience. Maybe they just showed, maybe sometimes you get a lucky break like
If
that.
you just show up.
And then you have to perform. But the person who doesn't show up certainly is not going to get the job.
You certainly have zero chance if you don't show up. That's correct. It's so true. And like he at least showed up. Just even though he had nothing in there that said on paper it was the longest shot there was in the world, he showed up. He could have done what you said, which is make excuses, act like he was sick that day, maybe whatever. But he showed up. And sometimes you just got to show up. You don't want to talk about luck and getting lucky. Getting lucky is you got to show up.
Right.
If I show up 10 times and you show up 2 times, I got a better chance of being lucky than you.
You can't get struck by lightning if you're not standing outside.
Absolutely.
Got it.
Because it works in a negative way, too.
yeah. Well, I mean, yes, but lightning in a bottle.
yeah,
The more
yes.
no, you're right. Get prepared for it because the more you show up, you're going to get ridiculed more. There's going to be times that story don't work out that way. You show up with that empty plot, and you know what? It doesn't go your way, and you get maybe people do start ripping on you some and all of that. And you're right. Showing up sometimes will test you. It won't always be the sunshine roses parable. But I can tell you this, you have no shot of it being the great parable like that story if you don't show up. And I truly believe that you're not going to get the lucky break until you show up and deal with some of the ridicule and deal with some of the negative, because I believe that you got to be set up for that luck coming your way. You got to be tested some, tried and tested to be able to get there. So staying in your integrity, your character, showing up and staying true to those faith and beliefs that you have and being there, man, even if you're behind and everything's scattered, just show up. Like, don't let it keep you down. Don't let the stuff and the mess going on keep you in bed. Show up. Get up, show up, and you're going to be 10 times better off, and you're going to have a chance of luck bouncing your way. But laying up and moping about it isn't going to help you any. Be back in a minute on the third segment of Second Shot.
Now that's what I call ignorance on fire. More of Second Shot with Heath Oaks still to come.
You guys have been listening to Second Shot and hearing us talk about it. You need to go pick up my book, Ignorance on Fire, A Journey of Failing Your Way to Success. You can get it on Amazon in paper book. You can also hear this beautiful voice of mine in audiobook style on Audible or anywhere you're going to get your audiobooks. Guys, this book took a lot of time to put into it, and I believe it can really be some life-changing stuff to help you on your path to success. And hopefully you're going to fail your way to success just like I did. Ignorance on Fire, A Journey of Failing Your Way to Success. Amazon.com, Audible.com, audiobooks, paper books, everything. Get it, share it with your people, and I appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Go pick it up today.
Kick off your boots or suit up. The choice is yours. Welcome back to Second Shot on RNCN.
See, I love parables and storytelling and stuff. And I sent you that deal. There was a story about Jeff Bezos said, CEO of Amazon said he was getting rid of the PowerPoint, and that he believed that you put everybody, instead of doing PowerPoints, put together like 2 paragraphs of a story, basically, instead of PowerPoints and bullet point stuff. And that's his way of communicating. I thought it was great. And I sent Jenny, I was like, oh, you'll love this, because Jenny still can't work a PowerPoint.
I've never made a PowerPoint in my life.
Have you really not?
I have not. I had a
And
4.0
That should be a
GPA.
point of pride.
In
at this point.
college.
Yeah.
4.0 GPA, no PowerPoint. I've never put one together. I'm sure I opened it up to attempt, but I don't know.
Outside of school for practice, I've never had to write a cover letter. Somehow I've just gotten away with that.
Knowing people?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Getting lucky and being there
great.
at the right
You showed
time
up.
and handing a resume in and shaking a hand. I'm a big fan of the show up day after you apply and hey, just wanted to shake my hand, throw my hat in the ring, put a name to a face, say hi.
That's critical.
Oh
Yeah.
man, yeah, it makes all
That
the.
is
I
so
mean,
good.
I would not be where I am today without that happening a number of times and working out for me.
I don't
It's
know
effective.
if I've ever had to have a resume.
Yeah. That's some of the
If
best.
you ever make one, babe, let me spell check it.
You've given.
Just saying.
You've
I'll be
given,
like, just go look at my LinkedIn.
You've given a lot of advice on this show, and that was one. I think it was on this show. We talked about that once, maybe off the air. And I said, Heath, got any advice for writing a good resume? You said you should never have to. Like, you should never. Ideally, you'll never need one. Like, you'll be in a place where you can network and you know enough people, and you're in a good enough place that like you can work it out. I was like, damn, that's good advice. Yeah, like, that's great.
Yeah,
and on
for
the
sure.
on the
think
third
past the resume.
on the third segment, we typically will take emails over some of the reviews because again, shaming everybody. If you haven't left a review and you're listening and you've heard me and you have a little cringe inside, go leave a review now. Next
and
is
screenshot your review
Yeah.
or tag us on Instagram. We'll repost you.
It's true.
And also, secondshotcast@gmail.com is email for anything, special, any kind of headline, anything you want to give us, whatever you want to let us know, do it. I also have we hear the advertisement on Energy Ogre, and I want to kind of throw everybody to let them know. I mean, Energy Ogre, if you're in Texas, the promo code Second Shot gets you a month free. And I'm telling you right now, if you don't use Energy Ogre, it is truly... It's not something that I literally am saying that it's just it honestly will save you a lot of money.
Right.
So I've gotten a couple direct messages. That's why I reminded Heath. I'm like, babe, you got to remind people on that one because we run the little ad thing, and I think people kind of tune out on that. They're like, oh, an ad. I don't know what they're talking about. But then a couple people, when it started to get so hot, and people were like, oh my gosh, my bills are insane. I think that Heath might have talked about that Energy Ogre thing. So anyway, to those of you who sent direct messages, I've tried to get back to everybody with the code. But what's
Second Shot?
So you go, how do you do it?
Go to energyogre.com, and when you go in there to fill out the deal, it'll have a promo code whenever you go to submit your stuff.
And then you put in Second Shot as the promo code, and you'll get your first month for free.
Yep.
So you do pay a monthly fee for it, but it's insane how much it lowers your bill. So the monthly fee doesn't even matter.
When you go on there and put your info in your bill, you don't sign up for anything or pay for anything till they shoot you back and see if they can save you money. So when you put your info in there, you're putting your bill and everything, and they'll send you a deal back and say, this is how much money we can save you. And then you decide to do it. So if they send you a deal saying they're only going to save you $100 a year and it's $10 a month, well, then it doesn't make sense for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
For the skeptics out there, walk me through this a little bit because I think I know how it works. You explain it to me. Basically, this is a company out of Houston that looks at power in your area and automatically finds you a new power provider every month. Yeah, to get you the best rate possible where you're at constantly.
Yeah,
and they do this behind the scenes.
Yeah, they have an algorithm down because what happens is you'll go in there and look at a lot of these teaser rates that may be up for a month or so, or one day. Company throws out a teaser rate, but then they always behind the scenes says once you're over this amount of kilowatts, though that 5 cents or whatever goes to 15, and so you may not catch that. And they're saying 5, but that's the average. And your bill, you may be consistently over that.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, you're getting hammered with it, right? But none of us had the time to go through all that every 3 months or whatever, right? When you sign up with them, their algorithm, they take your bills and they run it through their algorithm to find that maybe an advertised rate of 8 cents is actually lower than that because if you're in this certain amount of kilowatts, it consistently stays lower. And so they plan you up with it. They change you. They sign you up on a contract. And they always change you and get you a new contract. You'll never have one. They'll always get you. I mean, I get a notice that we change electric companies every 3-6 months or so, but I never have to do anything.
Right. You're not doing anything. It all happens behind the scenes.
Yep.
That is wild. I got to get on this.
So
sure.
it is legit. I know it sounds kind of crazy.
And summer's coming to an end. We're done running out of steam, but winter's coming. Heat costs.
I'm telling you.
Yeah. You got to buy that air, guys. It's
Energy
expensive.
Ogre, use the promo code Second Shot and you'll get a month for free. I promise you it is worth it.
I got to get on Energy Ogre.
We had a new review. One person decided to not get shamed anymore, so thank you. I have a feeling this is somebody from Indy because it's called Indy. It's from Indy Gal 80.
Oh, hey, Indy Gal.
Hey, Indy
I
Gal
used to
lady.
live there.
Her rating was a 5-star. Whoop whoop. Positive and real. I just love listening to the thought-provoking, inspiring, and real conversations on Second Shot each week. Heath, Jenny, and Zach are entertaining and continually challenge their listeners to become a better version of themselves, which I love. An easy listen for my morning commute. Look forward to it every week.
Oh, that's so awesome. I love
really
to hear
sweet.
that.
I think that's awesome.
Also, and when you do a review, you don't have to write a little thing. You don't have to compliment us, but it's
nice.
fun if
Yeah.
you and I think that's the habit. I've been posting it on my Instagram stories on Mondays because Mondays is always kind of like the hard day to kind of get through the week. So hopefully we bring a little bit of positivity or, just something to think about or laugh about or have fun with. And I wanted to give a shout out to Canada and Australia.
Oh.
For our international listeners.
Oh, yeah.
Those were the highest international listeners, right, babe?
Oh yeah.
It's stunning. Sometimes they beat out like American cities.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Canada will get more
Yeah.
plays than like I don't want to say Dallas, but like I don't know, somewhere in Texas. 40,
Yeah.
I don't know. I used to do this show a while back, and like I'll never forget. We started in college and we did a bunch of episodes, never went anywhere, and we don't do it anymore. But somewhere around like episode 80, we got our first like really negative critique. So, somebody was like, "You guys are horrible. Stop." And I was so excited. I was like, yes!
You've made it.
A hater, yes, perfect. Because you haven't got anywhere if you haven't made a couple enemies, right? Like,
Yep.
I love it. And not that anybody should rate this show poorly. But yeah, rate and review, gang. Like, why not?
So we
Zach
talked.
wants some haters.
Yeah.
I don't.
Don't.
I already have plenty.
Don't do that. Yeah. Just don't leave one. It's fine.
We also talked about the Second Shot Facebook group. Go join it. I'm gonna give you all some of the stuff. This one, I'm very shocked and angry at all three of you in this room right now.
Whoa.
Ooh.
This is one of those that was definitely a post that y'all should have replied to, because this was a good one.
Well, what does it
So
say?
I want to give y'all.
Yeah,
how'd I miss
so
it?
let me tell everybody
We can
that's
do it
missing
now.
the Second Shot group. I'm not going to say the name just because I don't know if they want their name said.
Yeah.
But
Sure.
I think this was a great post, and so this is the kind of stuff that goes on in the Second Shot group. So he posted a picture of this device. So I was going through a box that I keep a lot of my extra phone cables and stuff in. And for those of you who don't know or don't remember, maybe I'm the only one who bought it, but this is a Microsoft Zune. It's kind of like an MP3 player. They had this picture of Audio Slave is playing on there, which Audio Slave I loved. And he said, it was an MP3 video player attempted to get some of the market away from iPod. He goes, I had a lot of features on iPod. That's the reason I bought one. Okay, I bought like 3. He goes, what are some of the items of technology that you all purchased thinking it was a great item but turned out to be a flop? Do you still have any of those items?
I do. I actually have a really good answer to this. I have
And why didn't you post it?
I'm sorry, I didn't.
Okay, enough
I
with the
didn't think about
shaming,
it.
babe. Let the man speak.
I have a mini disc player. I have a portable mini disc player.
Oh, I remember
which I
those.
used
I
in
don't.
college when I was doing college radio.
Yes.
It was
Remember
it was a
those?
really good way to record stuff because it was better than cassette and you could skip through it like a CD or something like
Yeah.
that. So I had tons and tons of mini discs that I used when I was doing college news stuff, and I did all my recordings on it. It was like a digital recorder before those were really popular. So I loved it. I thought it was great, but you don't see those things anywhere anymore.
No.
Those are gone.
Same. Yes, I did college radio. Same, the college news radio
Yeah.
station. I guess you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And they
Do you have any kind of tech device you bought that you thought was going to be like great and forever, and you just...
Oh no, she's getting
stand
pulled something
by.
out of the
right now.
Oh no, you have it here?
Stand by.
Okay.
I do.
It could be anything. It's a golden bag.
This, my friends, and you'll have to watch on the
Go
video.
to YouTube and look.
Yeah.
You'll have to go to YouTube and look at what I'm showing
Oh,
you.
that's a little light for your
This
phone.
is the light for selfies.
A selfie light.
Heath and I were at an event, and someone brought this out, and we looked. They took this picture of us with it. So you go like this, you flip the phone around.
It's like a ring light.
Yeah, it's like a ring light, but for your phone. Okay,
So that's a flop? Was that a flop?
It's a flop because I never bring it out, and what happens all the time is this little button gets pressed
and it goes
in my
dead.
purse, and it goes
Right.
dead.
It's particularly large.
It
yeah.
is.
Yeah.
It is.
little
Like this
wieldy.
is taking up a lot of valuable space in
Yeah.
my purse. So anyway, it's like a love-hate relationship because I obviously don't want to get rid of it because I still carry
you
it
just
around
don't
with
use
me
it.
along with my bag of cords. Like I carry like all my chargers and cords and everything.
Okay.
You got a flop?
I see. This is why I didn't answer this question. Like, I used to work in IT. I was the kid, like, when I was 8, like, taking apart my parents' VCR with a screwdriver.
Oh, I
like,
love that
stuff
about you.
fascinates me. So, I do a stupid amount of research before I buy anything tech. Like, I look at prices. I wait for deals. I watch stupid unboxing videos.
Yeah.
Like, it's dumb. So, as far as this goes, I can't think of anything, but I do have some interesting trivia about the Zune because I
Okay.
saw this and thought
Oh.
about it. Microsoft made the Zune, I think, right?
Yeah.
And they had a deal on there because I had a friend in college who had one. I used to always give him hell about it. And looking back, I shouldn't have because he was right. They had a deal on there where it was like pay $10 a month and you could download all the tracks you wanted and you could keep like 3 at the end of the month or something. It's basically Spotify. And you guys were doing it like
Oh,
years
wow.
before
Gus
Spotify.
had a Zune.
Wow.
My brother Gus had a
It was a
Zune and had
service.
that program.
Yeah.
That just all came back to me. I
Yeah.
forgot about the Zune.
So,
That's crazy.
Yeah, credit where it's due. Like, they were doing it before everybody else was, so the Zune wasn't so bad.
I'm gonna have to make Gus listen to this
yeah.
just for the fact that we talked
That's
about the Zune.
So they were literally way ahead on something that they didn't break through on. That's crazy.
Not the first time Microsoft's done that, by the
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
Poor timing, but
Yeah.
brilliant idea.
So you guys, this is the type of stuff that goes on in the Second Shot group. Is these type of things that a lot of people share, a lot of people talk about.
Yeah.
There's a lot of interesting things, so go join it and send us an email with anything special that you've got or want. And the next episode, we will announce the people who won the hats from the previous challenge.
Yeah.
Right. So
tune into episode 80 for that.
Where can they find you at, Jenny?
right here. JennyAndChando.com.
You just
Jenny and
spaced
Chando
out.
TV. You guys, I am
Right
I am
here.
team no sleep to the nth degree right now.
Did y'all just see that?
Jenny and Chando TV on Twitter. Did I already say that? And on Instagram. Okay, somebody else go.
You can find me at AppleZacintosh on Twitter and Instagram, and I'll be in that Facebook group. I should have posted that on Facebook. I feel bad. I'm sorry.
Ed Heath Oaks at Ignorance on Fire. I love you guys. See you next time.
You're listening to RNCN, the digital destination for premium talk radio.